Well, I don't want to keep saying it because it sounds like the football song. But yeah, hey, welcome to another episode of Barbershop Stories, the podcast. And we got some financial gurus on here. I don't know if I said it right. What a guru or guru?
Guru.
Yeah, well, no, excuse me, no, make it gurus. And right here we got Brother William Jones. We got Mr. Lindell Robinson, and we got Brother Cornelius Brown right here. They're going to sit there and talk to you a little bit about day trading and how to work them finance stock market. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm comedic narrator, haircut slanger, Bennie Mac, and that is my man.
Sammy No.
That's
got
right.
That info, man. Barbershop Story.
That's right.
Episode 20.
That's right. So look, I ain't finna say too much because there's three of them up here today, and I'm sure they're excited to give you all this information they done acquired. So we're gonna start with you.
I started.
Oh, you want to start? Okay.
I started.
Man in the middle.
We're going to do the connect.
Okay.
All right, I'm Lindell Robinson. First of all, man, thank y'all for having us on.
Hey, we appreciate you coming on out.
Me and Sammy been kind of touching bases throughout for a while, back and forth or whatnot. And the name of our company is Good Name Movement, where we teach people how to day trade. And I'm going to just tell you a little bit how I got started. My partner here, Cornelius Brown, we've been knowing each other since high school, and we kind of reconnected about a year ago. I was having a little seminar. And whatnot, and he came to the seminar, and so we was doing a little networking and whatnot. And he wasn't able to speak at the seminar, and so we kind of connected a little bit shortly after that, and he wanted to be able to show me something. And at the time, I'm like, no, I don't want to do this or whatnot. And so he was more like, it don't cost you nothing, just come check it out. And so once he kind of showed it to me, and I was able to see the numbers, I was all in. And so yeah, I was all in. Once he showed me the numbers, I was all in. And I said, all you got to do is learn this. And he like, yeah, simple. So I went through about a 6-7 month process of learning. We were doing it online. He was teaching online and whatnot, and probably around about 6-7 months after I learned it, I was able to walk away from a 9-to-5. So I left my job in March and actually started going live trading in April 1st. And so ever since then, it's been, not looking back. And actually my wife, she was able to walk away from her job about 2 months ago.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, that's basically how me and once I learned it, me and Cornelius hooked up, and we got to talking about, and my whole concept was like, man, we need to tell the people, because I always told him, man, you got $1 billion process between your ears. And we were just trying to get it out to the world. He said he wanted the people to know this. And so once we hooked up, and we just said we need to make it affordable, for people like us to be able to, first of all, they don't know about it. So if you go tell somebody a high price, you're going to automatically turn them away anyway. And so once we made it affordable, and we just came up, with our name and a concept or whatever, and we went from there with it. And so I'm going to pass it on to Cornelius and let him do the rundown.
I want to reiterate what he said in terms of when he opened up, thanking you guys for having us on.
Appreciate you coming, man. You could have been anywhere, Cornelius. You could have been anywhere.
You
told to be here, man.
It's truly an honor. It's truly an honor. Just like Linda had said, I kind of got him, started with day trading, understanding, when you talk about a portfolio that there are many parts of it, and not only that, but there are things you can do. You can expand it, you can diversify it, you can, things of that nature. And one of the parts of portfolio expansion, if you will, is the do-it-yourself component. Most people, even in their retirement accounts, even in their money market accounts that they have, they don't even really know how to read the paper. They don't really understand what's going on, what the data is, what the information is. They don't really understand what their financial state and status is, and it's just a shame. And it's because there is no money market education in the public school system. For years, I taught in 4 different school districts, and I taught economics, and economics was a second semester course. And in economics, they don't teach you anything about doing it yourself. They don't teach you anything about how to enter into money markets. And when you look at this whole book, this is the slither in this book that talks about money markets, just this slither now. And in it, it does not talk about trading. It does not talk about how do you actually engage the market. And so, you know, I wrote a book called The Money Market Autopsy, and that can be found on Amazon.com. And in that book, I talk about my motivation. And my motivation is that when you look at life and socioeconomics, when you just take a glance and a glimmer at it, you can tell that there is a gap. There is what we call a wealth gap. And when you look at, you know, since the civil rights movement, when you look at how we have, you know, performed socioeconomically, we've been able to close the gap in many areas. For example, education. We're going to college and graduate now. Suburban living, we're able to move out into the suburbs. Foreign cars, we're able to purchase foreign cars now. So we're closing the gap. Two-parent homes, we're having more of those as well. So when we close those gaps, but one gap we can't close, and that's the wealth gap. And that regardless, so even if we work the same job, and the wealth gap, and that's because we don't inherit money at all, because nobody ever made more money than they actually needed. And so when you look at when we actually come onto the scene, when you look at the disparity, not only do we have those disparities, but you know, as a teacher, I sought to teach my students something that they could actually take and actually change their life with. And it was day trading. I showed them how they can do that. So that's how I got started. And to close this gap, you have to have some information. Because not only, you know, those things that are natural disadvantages, you have more disadvantages. You have redlining districts and housing districts. So now you can't get actual full value for your house, and then you have predatory lending. So now you have these people giving you money and they know you can't pay it back at 600% a week. I mean, you know, so you have that going on. Then you have mass incarceration, and then you have poor quality education. And when you add all this stuff together, you're at a disadvantage. Well, the only thing that can level the playing field is a certain knowledge. Not just any knowledge, but a certain knowledge. And that knowledge is how to go over into a realm, how to walk in a market, how to walk in a supermarket where money is just abundantly flowing, and get involved and get in line. That's what we do. We teach you how to get to the money.
Now, Cornelius, I got to say this. Now, I know you spoke about riding far. Now, I ain't doing no day trading. I ride far, and it's an 07 Honda Accord with no bumper, baby. You know what I'm saying? But that's what's up, though, man. Because one thing about it, I understand stocks, but very minimal. You know what I'm saying? I never jumped into that realm because most people I knew, they did a lot of other different investments, real estate, and different type businesses, but most of my constituents never talked about stock, especially day trading.
Right.
And if they spoke on stock, it was something that they seen on TV.
Right.
And if you asked them anything more than the service, you did.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
that's
And
what's
most
up.
people, and you know, before I pass it, most people are afraid of the unknown. You know, they're afraid of things that they don't know about. You know, and one of the things that challenge real educated people, highly educated people, ultra intelligent people, is that they have this misnomer or this thinking that if it's this good, because I'm so educated, I would have known about it. So you can't tell me. So you see that there is a closed door even amongst those, the elite, the educated, right? Because they feel like they know everything. So, and then you have those people who are just totally just afraid, right? But if we can really show them, and that's what we talked about, you know, leaving a legacy, and we can really show people how we can cause exponential growth to just come into our life. You know, Genesis 26:13 talks about how Isaac grew richer every single day until he was very wealthy. That's the will of God for us, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But he says, my people perish because they don't have some knowledge. It's this knowledge that they don't have. And so that's what we seek to do. We teach you how to do it, you know, how to get to into that market and how to, you know, navigate your way around there and come out of there with, you know, with some paper.
Well, this brother right here, he was just sitting there like, nigga, my turn.
Yeah. So basically how we come up with William Jones, we end up partnering up with William Jones.
Well, I love that word, partnering up, because a lot of times people, they can have the information and he can have the information, but if they partner up, it can be so much bigger, so many people.
Exactly.
They move to the side like they trying not to fumble the ball, you know.
Right.
So that's good to see three brothers, man, that
Yeah.
actually done linked up. Cause like you said, I linked up with him, then I linked up with him.
Yeah.
So there's some more links in that chain.
We actually bring the education to the table, and William Jones gonna tell you what he brings to the table to make this gumbo mix.
So what about the William? Goddamn
mean-
Will. What on
So check this out, man. Real talk. This brother was online, right? And I'm like, man, ain't no dudes in Birmingham trading. That's some crazy stuff right there, right? So I'm like, I hit this dude up. I was like, listen, man, let me talk to you for a minute. Let me find out what you really know. So he was like, man, I was like, okay, all right, I hear you. I said, we need to meet face to face, because you know a lot of people when you start to meet face to face, they never mind. Because online, everybody, you know, gangsters and do everything online, they gurus, everything online. But in person, you know, they don't really want to see you. So we met up, you know, had dinner. Literally went in there at 5 o'clock. We shut the place down.
Yeah.
We was talking that long and shut the place down. You understand what I'm saying?
Still
So
talking.
Yeah.
just going over stuff, right? So I was like, man, this right here is probably meant to be. You understand what I'm talking about? And for me, I came up in this area. You understand what I'm saying? And I was in a program called Junior Achiever, right?
Yeah, I remember Junior Chief.
And my football coach and track coach told me that instead of getting in trouble, you need to go junior achievement. I met this dude that basically told me, man, I can make more than any drug dealer you know, and I knew a lot of them at the time that was doing pretty good. You understand what I'm saying? So he's like, he took $5,000, turned $20,000 in a month. That was in 1992.
He was showing up balling then.
You see what I'm saying? That was in 1992. So I was like, from that point forward, I ain't know nothing else but to look at that newspaper and look at those ticker symbols when they were decimal and fractions in the newspaper. And I studied and studied and studied. Went off to college, walked into this guy's class, man. And I was like, I got this class. This class is easy. Took the test, made 104 on all the exams. I'm thinking I'm that dude. Last day of class, you know how you go to class, get your grade, whatever the case is. I want to introduce y'all to William Jones. He's the guy that's responsible for y'all not getting any curve points. So whatever grade you got, you got it. But the only guy in the class is gonna fail. Man, I done ran to my athletic advisor trying to, hey man, this dude trying to flunk me to the, and I already talked to her. Dude said, look, I want to teach you something because you got a mind. I said, okay, whatever. You trying to get you gonna cut your grass for someone for a C? I'll do that, because at the time I just wanted to run track. You understand what I'm saying? He taught me how to trade. I made $80,000 in 1996. The summer of 1996, I made 80 grand. You couldn't tell me nothing else from that point forward. He said, what's gonna happen if you run track? I mean, if something happened and you don't go pro or whatever. I was like, I'll just get a job. That'll be the atrocity of your life. And he started introducing me to people, right? And I ended up getting educated, got an international economics degree. As far as the doctorate is concerned, I got that degree, came back to the States, worked for some big, large firms, learned how to trade big money, and my life been up and down ever since. And I love telling this story. I lost $800,000, 800 grand cash.
Some folks ain't never seen
Seen
$800,000 between them and 4 more family members together.
So I
Your
don't
own
mind.
family.
I don't mind telling. I lost that much money. Lost family members' money, this, that, and the other, and it changed my life because it showed me that I had to be disciplined. He told me you was gonna lose money. He said you're gonna lose money because you're gonna get the big head, and that's what happens when you start making a bunch of money and you feel like you got it going on. You start losing forgetting the principles that you had to get there. You understand what I'm saying?
Go to the bigger flip.
Man, and then you can't. You got to stay in that zone, right? And then $1 become $2, $2 become $4, $4 become $8, so on and so forth. And that's what I do, right? I tell people all the time, I don't win on every trade I take. I had a losing trade today, but I made $1,200 Monday, and I lost $250 today on the trade I called. So if you do that over and over and over again, that money gets big. You understand what I'm saying?
Keep it in the green.
Keep it in the green.
Yeah.
And I try to tell people it's about acting and doing what you're supposed to do and following the rules. You're not going to win all the time. It's impossible. But what you can do is money management. That's what we as a people ain't been taught. Because you know what happens when we get $1,000 check that we ain't never seen before. We like, well, I'm going to go buy me some Jordans. I'm going to go spend it on this. I'm going to go spend it on that. But ain't nobody said, well, I'm going to get this guy to teach me what to do with this money.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I can figure out how to save this money so I can flip this money.
Well, in Birmingham, it might be a high-ass water bill, man. They're going to boost up about 32% of your check there. That's
So-
right. Shout out to Jefferson County Sewer and Birmingham Water. Y'all ain't shit. But yeah, maybe you will. Maybe you will.
And
So-
that's basically compound interest. I
Right.
mean,
So I mean, that's what I partner with these guys for, because we do the same thing but differently. They teach, they're in there and they're motivating people and that kind of thing. I don't give a shit about motivating nobody. I'm trying to get to the money.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to the money.
No.
So if you're not trying to get to the money, I ain't really trying to hear what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Because everybody says that they want a thing, but when you got to do what it takes to get to that thing, people fall off. You know how it is.
Yeah.
You got to be able to do a thing, and you got to be able to do it consistently. Because see, that's the key. You got to be able to do this consistently. Imagine this: mom and daddy. Neil touched on it. You can't have generational wealth. Then nobody leave you nothing.
Yeah.
Black folk.
Generational company.
I mean, you black people kind of believe in life insurance, and kind of don't. They believe in having life insurance, but they don't want to pay that bill every month.
Oh, yeah. So
Right.
They just waiting on you to die.
You see what I'm
Get
saying?
that 100
Then that
grand.
first thing to go, buckets.
Yeah, you see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So but you got to
Right there
understand,
with the cable bill.
people that have access to money have insurances. You understand what I'm saying? And then a guy that I went to school with, I ain't gonna call his name because we live, but a guy that I went to school with, his granddad died. He, prominent business here in Birmingham. Prominent business. Granddad died. Said, listen, you got to get a job, get a house, pay your bills on time for 3 years straight. You know how much he got out? He did that? $250,000. And he couldn't get the $250. He had to get the interest off the $250 that the granddad had already set up with an investment firm that he get the interest off of. So now the kids going to school off that money because that money in grew. That's the kind of stuff I got. Man, when I got around that kind of, that's different kind of living right there.
It's a whole different kind of living.
You see what I'm saying? I tell them this. I tell you this. You got to learn how to make your money make money.
That suit coat and slides there, you see? That suit coat and slides on a Wednesday, baby. Yeah, clean for nothing. Just wake up.
Man, look at that. Look at stop that, man.
Hey, it's real though. I mean, for real, when you feel good about yourself, you typically live different.
That right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you may bend the corner white beat in the sport coat on because you know I got some money.
Atlanta.
You know what I'm saying?
In Atlanta.
That's what's up, man. I love to hear them
So-
testimonials, man, for real.
So, I mean, we just want to, I mean, for me, I just want to get with these guys so we can tell the people. Anybody, I ain't that special about me. I'm a regular old dude. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know, Kanye, that's pretty special. Because I ain't going to lie. Now, when I say special is that you actually, y'all was willing to take the step to go and do something different. Because, like I said, everybody try to, like, let's just say if you see somebody making money off a chicken restaurant, everybody want a chicken restaurant.
That right.
But you never hear people talking about day trading and stock. That's like when me and Sam was speaking on it. It was like, hey, that's a no-brainer, you know, because I am like 2% knowledgeable on it. I know what it is, but I've never actually done it myself.
Right.
So I'm interested in hearing more.
Yeah.
Interested in hearing more.
What
So
you think them, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask about something totally different. So you know what I'm saying? I ain't want to change the point while you making it.
Well, no,
What
what I
you
was,
say you-
well, I was gonna ask you, like, you got in it. What was the inspiration behind getting in it? Did you see somebody else struggle throughout their life? It was just ran over by mistake, or like, what got you into it?
Well,
It's normally a story of why people got into what they got into.
Well, I graduated college at 21, 22 years old, and I went straight to a 6A high school, and I was a head basketball coach. I was a pretty accomplished and decorated basketball player, high school basketball player here in Birmingham. And so when I got finished playing college, I was never a B team coach or assistant coach. I went straight and became a varsity head coach at a 6A school. So I majored in political science in college, and so I taught economics. But I was, I think 21, 22, somewhere in there. And there were some children who were, because economics is a 12th grade class, a senior class. And so there were some children in there who were almost my same age. And when I tell you that I was being challenged in every way possible during that tenure, like physically at the fist fight. I mean, the whole 9 yards, and so even academically. So as I'm standing in front of these children, with my soliloquy, I better be right about everything that I'm talking about. Well, when we got to the markets, I really didn't know much about it. So what I did was I started doing some research, because hey, when you first get a job, you're at work on time, boy. You staying late, you helping them sweep and all that. So this what you trying to do.
Man.
So I'm like, hey, listen, I gotta know about this stuff. I gotta do a great job, And when I did that, I ran across a book called The Wall Street Money Machine by Wade B. Cook. And in that book, Wade B. Cook began to talk about the fact that you can actually make money from a stock without actually owning the stock. And so he said you can actually pay a person for the right but not the obligation to purchase a stock and not even go back and get it. In case the stock don't do well, you ain't stuck with it. You just lose that little money that you put down. I was like, yeah. He said, yeah. So in that book, so I said, well, I started doing that and I liked it. And I said, hey, I got to teach some people. So my first student, he went to Auburn. By the time he was a sophomore, he had started an investment club on Auburn University's campus and had $1 million in his fund. That was 20 years ago. I began to teach him on graph paper where we did plotted the points and stuff way before the technology that we have now. Right. So this guy ended up, he was a chemical engineer though. So recently here, a year ago when I got with him, I was wondering how is this gonna translate. I used to tell him all the time, you know what I'm saying? He not an engineer, you know what I mean? So can I teach the regular guy, the steel toe boots, hard hat guy, vest, flannel vest guy, can I teach him? And we was able to do it. But my motivation was 2/3 of the children that went to that school came from housing projects. They already had missed all their major math. They already had missed a lot of English because they were not going to be able to fit neatly into this world that you have to fit into that's called corporate America. They'll never make it. That ain't them. Hey, but let me show you something. Let me show you this right here. You ain't got to worry about shaking hands and extending that. You ain't got to worry about knowing what fork to eat with. You don't have to worry about laughing when nothing funny and jumping when there's no basketball around. You know what I mean? You can take your own destiny into your own hands, and that was my motivation. And I talk about that in the book that I wrote. Yeah.
Well, that's what's up. What about you, Brother Lindell? I know you said you and your wife, y'all both quit working. Now, I know that got to be tough. I'm married too, and boy, at the house all day
with 5 children.
Get a second job.
So definitely, man, I just knew it as a young person. I didn't like working for nobody, and so when I was growing up, football was my way out, which I thought. And so I was, like I say, I was a pretty decent running back for Shades Valley coming up through high school.
Well, hold on. What year?
I came out in 91, man.
Okay. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see if that year we whooped y'all. I didn't say that.
No, me and Dave, look, he went to school with David Palmer. Okay. Me and David Palmer, one of the best come through Birmingham. Me and David Palmer battled every week for Player of the Week. Me coming out of high school. So, I mean, I was okay. So, I went to college and ended up quitting my freshman year. So, at 19 years old, I'm at a crossroad. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. I done lost football. I've been playing football since I was 4. So now, don't want to work for nobody. I want my own. And when I was young, I always said I'd be rich. But I lost football, so now how am I going to be rich? So I'm lost in the wind now. So I reinvented myself. And that's just basically what happened. I'd have found a key.
Well, that's what's up. You and your wife, y'all run the business together?
It's actually me, my wife, Cornelius, and his wife, and now we partnered up with William and his wife. And
well, that's what's up. Because a lot of times when people get off into different business ventures, either the wife into it and the husband not, or the husband into it and the wife not. So that's what's up, man. Y'all linked up and y'all do it together.
But when I got ready to leave, it was funny because women will always be cautious. Well, what we gonna do? I mean, you really gonna quit? What about insurance? And, you know, it was on that level. And I was like, man, I'll forever be working. I mean, we living check to check, and we still behind. You know, when I left the job, I left broke, and I left behind on bills. And I jumped out there, but I knew I had to leave because I knew I had to go learn this and make a way. And so that's my story, man.
That's what's up.
That's very realistic, man. Cause some of us think you gotta have that shit piled up already before you make that jump.
You'll never make it. I mean, you'll never get it.
Thinking like that.
Yeah.
When I hear people talking about, I gotta save and save, working a 9 to 5, man, you'll never get there. And that just really doesn't come. You'll never get there.
And
Watch the progression, bro.
And with what we're doing, I think the unique thing that we're doing now, especially with the partnership with Dr. Jones, him by being he's a professional trainer on Wall Street.
Yeah, his name doctor in front of him.
he got a doctor.
So they ain't even got no medical coat on. Damn Jones.
So I think now the process that Lindell took, it takes about 6 months. Now, let me just say this, not toot my own horn. If it blow, I didn't do it. You know, I'm an educator, right? Like 20-year vet. And when we talk about education and we're talking about understanding learning styles. We're talking about understanding emotional intelligence. We're talking about being able to diagnose why a person doesn't understand what they don't understand. So not only do you get the executive online money market education in terms of technical analysis, but you also get a professional teaching person who's doing all the things that we need to do on the back end, emotionally, intellectually. My wife, she's a college professor who came up with the curriculum. She should be on her way in here now. But so when you talk about, you got this level of education, right, on the education side, and you have that level of education and experience on the practical side. So now you take theory and application and get practical results, and that's what we're able to do for the persons who are connected with us now. Because it took him 6-7 months to earn. Now because he's with us and he has that experience, now while you're learning, you can earn. So each and every day we have a signal service where you can actually get the signals even if you don't know what's going on. Well, the same way the person on your job who's controlling it, you don't know what's going on. But so now you have a person that you know what's going on, and then now you're over here in the education milieu with me 2 nights a week, and I'm giving you, and listen, I'm breaking it down. I'm explaining to you what wasn't in this book. The only reason you can add is because it was taught to you. The only reason you can spell is because they taught it to you.
He's exposed to it.
Yeah, the only reason you can't do this is because it was never taught to you.
This is
So
exactly
high school
right.
education, well, it
Yeah.
don't take no level of education.
No.
Take heart.
Teach it is and
Gotta be exposed to
Yeah,
it.
Listen.
Heart and exposure, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. My 11-year-old son and my 76-year-old mom, from that range, I mean, it doesn't matter because it's something that you're seeing. I see this book right here. If I tell you every time you see this book right here, jump. So when it's right there, you won't jump. But when it's right here, you jump. When it's over here, you won't jump. When it's right here, you jump. We're going to teach you when to jump. And it's just simply looking. That has absolutely nothing to do with your intellectual aptitude or your IQ, period. Do what you see, and we're going to teach you what to see. And you can't see that in 6 days. It's going to take you about 6 months. But once that is over, starships are rockets.
Once you see something, you can't unsee it.
Once that bell ring, it can't be.
you know how it works.
Once you see something, you can't unsee it.
They can't take this away from you.
You know what I mean? And it's just. Let me tell y'all something, man. Black people, Mexican people, white people. I'm not a racist. I'm a classist. I say it all the time. I deal with people that want to have a certain level. Not that you got a certain level, but you got to want a certain level of life for yourself and your family. And
Well,
anybody can have it. It ain't anybody can have it. And I'm gonna say this on the podcast. You got the stupidest motherfucking president ever in the history of the world running this country.
The barbershop,
Why
run that shit.
you can't do this right here? You got the stupidest motherfucker that I never
He
seen.
made president.
He's He's the leader of the natural free world.
Yeah,
And he can't string 4 sentences together. I heard it today.
He doing a hell of a job with them stocks.
So he working them stocks.
And that's what that's all about. They
That's
don't
all
care
it's
nothing about what you talking
Yo,
about.
they about that money.
Because look at the interest rates, the APR, the interest rates now. We don't care what he talking about up there.
Yeah, because and I'll tell y'all
You see what I'm
something.
saying?
Take this to the bank. If the stock market is up the third quarter of 2020, that means on October 31st, when the bell rings, the stock market is up, he's president. I made that prediction with Barack Obama. People thought I was crazy. I said, because this is exactly what y'all talking about. People with money don't like change. They want to keep that thing going as long as they can. And if you bring somebody else in there that ain't making no money, right? Because he's a businessman, but business ain't got nothing to do with being small.
Yeah. It's about who you got around.
It's who you got around you. It's who you know.
I know a guy didn't get past 4th grade to get a millionaire.
It ain't got nothing to do.
It
Business.
wasn't about smartness. He's a businessman. He's a millionaire.
Most
And he do
traders.
insulation.
Yeah.
They say it all the time. Most of the Fortune 500, well, I ain't gonna say most, that's a big word. Some of the Fortune 500 guys were like college dropouts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Bill Gates
Bill Gates.
did not finish school. The man
Richest
said, I'm
man
going to go
in
in
the
the
world.
basement and I'm going to fix this thing to make it work.
Richest
And next
man in
thing
the
you owe, it's about access, people. At the end of the day, it's about access. It's about who you know, what kind of value can you add. Not just can I get from you to get to me, what can I add to you? Because if everybody adds value, then everybody wins. That's one thing in our community that we don't do on a consistent basis. In our community, if we got together and pooled our resources, we'll run the world.
But see, but it take fellas like you are willing to link up and network with the people who don't know, because I don't think that a lot of blacks want to be in the position they're in, but they're scared to get up out of it because they don't know what's the next step after you decide to get up.
The fear of unknown. The fear of unknown.
The fear of unknown.
It's
So
off the work.
that's why I say, hey, what y'all fellas, what y'all doing, man, hey, I want to know a little bit more. So, all right, as far as with stock trading and all that, is there a specific stock that you aim at, or you just study them and see which one best, or you just throw stuff on the wall and hope it stick? What's the process in that?
Yeah, well, one of the things about it is that I'm glad you said that. I mentioned that is because most of the people, when they talk about markets, they really don't know what they're talking about. So, so for example, somebody, if you tell them, hey, listen, I'm about to, invest in the market. Oh, that market take your money. That market take your money. But if you ask them a simple question, which market takes your money? They'll be stumped. Because it's not just one market. It's 4 markets. It's the futures market, the forex market, the options market, and the stock market, right? So and then it's the bond market. I mean, so it's more than one market. Well, what we do is we want to look at the market that has 2 things. We want to look at one that has volatility, and we want to look at one that has liquidity. If we can get volatility and liquidity, we get enough movement during the short intraday period to make short movements as the market is breathing and rallying, right? And we make money in that. So we look at what's called the futures market. And the futures market, that's the most purest market to me, because there are no dark pools there, because who can predict the future? Nobody. You know what I mean? So what you see on the charts is kind of what's really there. You know what I'm saying? Without having level 2 data and depth of the market and all that, like, without that kind of artificial intelligence that they have, like, that's the one that me and you can get almost a true, like, this, and it's the futures market. Now, when you talk about the futures market, there are different things. There's crude oil, right? There's gold, there's silver. You see things of that nature. So you got the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and then you got some more, right? So, but we teach you technical analysis, which can be applied to any one of them. Now, each market does have its own personality and psychology about it, and you would study it by doing in-sample and out-sample testing, back testing, and forward sample testing yourself, right? And we would teach you how to do that, right? But I mean, it's the futures market. It has the volatility, it has liquidity. Even if we go into the weeds a little bit further, not only do we do the futures market, but we do it during what we call the overlapping session, which is when the London session is closing again towards its 4th quarter, its 3rd trimester, and then the U.S. session is opening. You have 2 overlapping sessions, and you have so much volatility and so much liquidity right in there. The short-term movements that we need, I mean, make with an account that you are able to trade $5,000 in, you should make $1,000 a day easy. Period. And that's just simply when you learn what you have to learn. Now, when you have to learn it, you have to learn 6 things. Number 1, you have to learn technical analysis, what's on the chart. Number 2, you have to learn trade setups. What does it look like when it's about to happen? Number 3, you have to learn entry alerts. When is it time for me to actually enter a trade? Then you have to learn how to manage that trade. Do I go +1? Do I reduce my risk? Do I trail 2 candles? However, you're doing that. And then you have to learn how to exit, right? No good knowing how to take off on a plane without knowing how to land that plane, right? Mm-hmm. So you go through this. So that's about a 4-month period. Then you move to what we call the next level, where you're now practicing it. You now have a fund of fiat money, not real money, fake money, that you're actually trading. You're now applying what you have learned in these 4 months to the actual market in 2 ways: through market replay, which is that you can get market replay and you can just practice like a running back, a T4, a VCR, what have you. And then when the real live market is going on, you actually simulate trades. You do that, and then you put those submissions in class, and we break those down. We tell you what you did wrong. You create then a portfolio that you have now that you can look at it, and you can't look at the same thing for 6 months and start retaining, and not retain what you need to. So what we do, we have a trading plan that we teach you that we look for, but we also teach you. We have a rubric where we show you where your mistakes are. There are 8 mistakes you can make. And we have what we call the road to prosperity. And as you go through this road, you'll make 8 mistakes, and then 7 mistakes, and then 6 mistakes, and then 5 mistakes, and then 3 mistakes, and then you're getting feedback because the class is alive and interactive. And listen, you can't help but learn it. Listen, we are great at education. Great at it. Great at it. I was teacher of the year in every district I went to. People would come, they would forego their lunch periods to come to my class and sit on their planning period to find out what was I doing to get all of these children motivated about education. So that's what we do. And then I was put on earth to do this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know their purpose in life. This is my calling.
Walking in your destiny.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. This is what I was put on earth to do, and was that to give you some information that can change your life. Every single time I open up my mouth, I want you to gain something that changes your life.
Okay, do y'all offer classes?
Absolutely.
Stuff like that. I get what they say, like cooking for diamonds. Do y'all do day trading?
No.
Well, no, when I say diamonds, I don't mean literally, just do you offer that?
Absolutely, absolutely. You can go to our website right now, reclaimmyname.com, and you can go to profitstalker.com. Those are our sites, and you can look and see what we do. On terms of the education, that happens 2 nights a week, and it happens every week, and it happens for 30 minutes, and there is a 6-pillar education package that you'll get, and you learn these pillars, and we teach them in a cyclical fashion. We teach pillar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like I talked about. And then you just go over that and go over that. Then when you get to the 4th month of looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, now you're retaining it. Now you can get on the field, right? Because you know that this is out of bounds, and this is a first down, and this is a touchdown. You can move around. You understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. Once you get to that point, now it's just practice. And because you have these 5 phases, you have to forecast a trade, you have to recognize a trade, you have to enter a trade, you have to manage a trade, and you have to exit a trade. Those are 5 phases. Mm-hmm. And while you're learning, you will make mistakes. Sometimes you'll get a late entry, a bad field. Sometimes you get out too early. Sometimes you'll lock in profit too quick, and you didn't allow the market enough time to breathe. And then you get out, and now you can't jump back in because now you're chasing it. But then you see it go up 20 points. Things like that. There's an emotional side, there's a psychological side, then there's an intellectual side. And boy, we help you with that. We coach you, we teach you, we take you by the hand and show you how to get that done.
Okay, well, that's what's up.
Penny stocks getting to the money. That was a question I was going to ask earlier when he was talking about he get to the money. Are penny stocks get to the money? Because I hear a lot of people talk about them penny stocks and stuff. What's that all about?
Well, I mean, I don't do penny stocks, but I know plenty of people that have done penny stocks and do well. The only thing about it is you just got to understand And when you talk about penny stocks, it's really a boom or a bust kind of situation, right? You put $500 in the penny stocks, you either gonna lose that $500 or that $500 gonna turn into some money, like $10,000 or whatever the case is, because those stocks take off. But I personally don't do stocks. I'm a commodity trading advisor. I'm a professional commodity trading advisor, which basically means I handle the futures markets only. Right?
So that's something totally different, though.
Yeah.
That is something totally different.
I got
I've done it before in the past, but I don't do it now currently.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Are there certain stocks that are less riskier than others? Like let's just say prisons or you like to say different commodities. Are some of them less riskier than others?
Let me say this. So, when you talk about the markets, it's four of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got the stock market, right? Walmart. Then you have the options market, Kroger. You see, they're both markets, but they're two different things. Two different things. Now, all of us have had, well, I know he and I have had experience with all four. Traded Forex before, major pairs, minor pairs, exotic pairs. You got to wake up in the morning, you got the water table to deal with. Then we've traded options, in the money, out of the money, intrinsic value, extrinsic value, expiry. Then we dealt with the stocks, buy it, hold it, pray. All right. But then when we moved to the futures market, once you get a whiff of this and get it in your nostrils, you're not gonna want it. Yeah, you'll have passive investments over there and stuff like that because you do want to have an expanded portfolio. But you're gonna want to get into this volatility and liquidity, and you're gonna want to get into. That's my wife. You're gonna want to get into making money exponentially quick,
Daily.
every day,
Yeah.
within just an hour and a half time span.
With something like that, flipping money that quick, what's the cost associated with? Because like Sam mentioned, penny stocks, some people want to put in 100, 200, getting what you're talking about, the liquidity. What type of money you need to start off with to get off into something like that?
What you want to start off with is at least $3,000.
Okay.
At least
you done wiped out 97% of my homeboys. Goddamn. No, I'm just kidding. No, 98%.
But what we want to do is, those of us who have understanding and forward thinking, we want to be able to get involved ourselves, and then we can show it. You'd be surprised at what a person can find when they believe in something.
Yeah, I agree.
When they believe in something, all of a sudden, they found $3,000. So the bottom line is that we offer something that is irrevocable. It can't be taken away once you get it, and it will not only help you, because you can find, the Power Elite do it all the time. They find the expert in the field, and what they do is they pass the money on to them, and they don't want to think about that, right? They can do that because it was passed to them. Those of us who make it, even if we become a part of the Power Elite, we still need the knowledge so that we can pass the knowledge down, through generations and generations. And that's what this is about, and that's what our motivation, really is. So you would need,
the only way we're gonna trust it if
Watch this.
See the result from it.
I'll finish with this. A lot of people have money that is walking right around them, but they don't, because they're money market illiterate. That's not a put down now, but because it's not taught now. But money market illiterate, they don't know that they can get money from a 401k. That's theirs. They don't know that they have access to that. They're thinking that they have to wait until they're 59 and a half. They have to wait until they're too old to even enjoy it.
Somebody else making all the money
We
off
speak on that
their
all
Right,
the time.
but that money can be moved around within that sheltered environment and still remain in that environment, and you even have direct access to it. You see what I'm saying? That's what it's about for us. So to get started just with education is $99 a month. You only have to have $3,000. You won't need $3,000 until 4 months away anyway. You're not ready for $3,000. You understand what I'm saying? It's time to learn.
And then if you
So
take them
that's just-
signals,
yeah,
Yeah, I
you
was
can
gonna
make
say.
money.
yeah.
What I told them is, I like an audience, because the thing is, you can't deny if I do it in front of you. right? You know what I'm saying? People always talk what they can do. The internet and made people superstars that really ain't superstars. You see what I'm saying? Made people famous that otherwise wouldn't have been famous. This is the truth. I tell people the same thing I told them. I don't mind. I'll trade in front of you. I'll pull my laptop out, let you log on and watch me do what I do. After 30 days, you'll be a believer. Because you can't deny what's in front of you. And then I'll tell people, you don't need a bunch of money. You just need to take a chance on yourself. You take a chance on everything else in life. Except yourself. Take a chance on yourself. And this is the thing. I'm going to prove to you that this is how this works. Like I said at the beginning, I lost today. I called a losing trade today. Anybody that was online heard it. But I called a winning trade on Monday. That was 3 times, 4 times that amount. But I like to do it in front of people so that people can see this is real. Because nobody does it. In our community, ain't nobody walking around saying, don't let me show you. Log on, I'm gonna show you trades I'm taking for my account.
So what you saying is that people could just get a brokerage account, not know anything, and just take the signals from you. Is that what you're trying to tell the people? Are you trying to tell the people that they can just engage the market, and because of your expertise, your knowledge, your wisdom, and your experience, that they can then garner and gain some accolades financially, like you're able to produce.
And don't know nothing.
See, I ain't that smart. I don't know nothing they said really, but I think so. I think so. No, I'm just teasing. But no, seriously, yes. If people got to understand, you got to find somebody that's willing to teach you. That's the first thing.
Yeah. But you gotta want to learn too.
Yeah, you know, you
gotta be willing to learn.
You gotta be willing to learn. But once you find somebody to teach you, and you find out that it's real, it's hard to walk. The guy that tell you, man, I drive a Lamborghini, and I live in a $300,000 house, and I get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm done working by 11:30. The guy that tells you that, and you pull up to him, and he got the Lamborghini, you see his crib, you see him trading, okay, let me, because the thing is, I always say, you can't deny what's in front of you.
As long as he ain't been on an episode of American Greed. You know, some of them motherfuckers, they do that, man.
Yeah, they told him on Wolf of Wall Street, show me how you did that, nigga.
But watch this. And I like to address this too, because people, some people are so ignorant that it's overbearing.
Yeah.
It's hard to be around them, you know. And a lot of people, even when you start talking about money markets, and they start bringing up things that you did. I know you brought it up jokingly, but they bring it up in such a way that it closes down their mind. But let me just tell you the difference between us and anybody that you've ever seen on American Greed: fiduciary exchange. See, we don't take any of your money at any time during this process. It's that money is in your account. That when we even talk about giving seeds, you're doing that. You're pressing the button. You're doing that. We aren't doing any of that. You understand what I'm saying? So, what sense does it make for us to waste an hour and a half, 2 hours every morning? We don't know what we're doing. And you ain't gonna give us no money, and the only way we gonna get paid is if you make money, because you don't have the money, because you wouldn't be in here if you had it. You see what I'm saying? So I think that just needs to be brought out and kind of accentuated. That we're never taking any money from anybody. You know, we're just giving.
Okay, old philanthropist in here. All right. That's continuity. That's what's up, man. Now let me ask you this. Now, as far as back with the trading too, I know a lot of people don't know about stocks in those private prisons. Is that a real good investment and a fast turnaround, or is that just a long-term investment that you just got to watch and see grow?
The fact that you're asking that question is why I don't fool with stock. That's too much hard thinking what you're trying to do.
See, with stocks.
See what we do, we just see it and hit it. It's gold.
Yeah,
it's
we
over.
make money every day trading. Stocks, you got to put money, like I say, you got to pray to God that it
is working.
Well, you got to do the fundamental analysis, the quantitative as well as the qualitative analysis.
And let me say this out there too. In order to trade stocks like we do with the futures, you need 25 G's.
Oh yeah.
Let me put that out there so you understand. From a regulatory standpoint, you can't day trade unless you got 25 stacks. You understand what I'm saying? Or 20. I don't know if that's terminology, but $25,000. That's what it is.
Right.
Right. So
Rats on
rats
rats.
on rats. So unless you got that, you can't even talk in the stock market.
Because
You
when you
understand what
drop
I'm saying?
under that, they hit you for that 90-day probation.
So I mean, I just want to put that out there so that people don't think, well, I can go just trade. You talking about the prison stocks or whatever? No, you can't.
Oh no, I wanted to ask that question because a lot of people they're very unfamiliar with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know y'all fellas, y'all the geniuses, and
I'm
saying y'all know what you're talking about more than the average person.
But dealing with stocks, the only thing about it, if the stock market crash, if you're dealing with stocks, you lose.
You crash too.
Now with us day trading, whether the market go up or down, all we have to do is know how to get in the trade and how to manage and exit, and we make money regardless, up or down. It doesn't matter. So that's the difference. Yeah.
The stock market went down like 600 points
Yeah,
one
you
time.
losing.
Yeah,
That day,
Brexit, boy, that boy.
I'm gonna say.
I said, boy, I made bank that night, boy.
See, when the stock market crashing, we win it regardless because we know
It doesn't matter.
how to read a chart and how to enter trades.
It's almost like it's unfair because
Like
we get to
stealing,
go to the game, to the championship game, and when the blue team win it, we get to put on a blue uniform and play with them. And if some kind of way we lose the lead, and the red team go to win it, we get to take our jersey off. And they go to red jersey. I'm talking about, and we out there catch them. I mean, we in the lead. You know what I'm saying? It's really crazy. And I just pray to God that people understand and recognize that God ain't gonna open up a cloud and drop no money down there. But He will bring somebody into your life, into your experience, and expose you to something that you need.
And I think where I come in, I'm like the average Joe, man. Like a guy said the other day, if Lindell can do it, hell, we all can do it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, cause they can relate to me, man. That dude struggling, working a 9 to 5, all that. And if he can learn it and do it and move forward, man, we can do it too. Man. It's a want to.
And Lindell, you did go Shade Valley in the early 90s.
I mean,
The old Shade Valley.
The old Shade Valley was over there by the zoo.
By the zoo.
Yeah.
Because I was zoned.
Yeah, you gotta have some money to be zoned right there.
Yeah,
And all
right.
that messing with
I'm
you.
from Mindale. I'm from Mindale.
But
So.
that's another misconception.
Yeah,
like Rosedale and Homewood.
yeah, exactly.
They go to Homewood. Yeah,
You live road there.
Yeah.
In a small area right there. Yeah, exactly. So
Hey, on that.
it's a want to, man. You got to, like, everybody don't, like, a lot of people comfortable where they at.
That's bottom line.
And the only thing in being comfortable because you've been doing it for so long. Like, struggling have become normal to us. Like, shit, we used to it,
Yeah,
so
used
it's
to it.
normal. I can wake up every day and struggle every day. I'm used to it. So, and that's the difference, right?
So with that, and I guess this is the fun part, as far as on the tax benefits and disadvantages of day trading. Can you tell them a little bit about that?
Well, I'll speak on that, right?
Because you talking about 80 bands and 100 bands. I know that dude, that Uncle Sam, that holding up the top hat.
Yeah, he won't eat.
Yeah, he
right.
wanted it.
Right.
So,
And we want to give it.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you're making that money, you do want to give it. But in the futures market, it's a 60-40 split. You pay on 60% of your capital gains, you pay long term, and on 40% you pay short term capital gains. So it depends on what your tax bracket is, but effectively you want to pay 34% on short term capital gains and about 20-25% on long term capital gains. So you're gonna have to pay those capital gains taxes because they're gonna send you that bill. Because what that brokerage company gonna make sure they do is tell, this is what he made. I just want y'all to know this is what he made. We sent it to him
keep them
too.
off there.
Yeah. So they gonna send it. So when
But
you
still,
get that,
but that's still at the end of the day, it's around about 12.9, 15% versus what you do on earned income.
About
You
30
can
something,
imagine what
yeah.
you. Ain't no capital gains.
Because on a job, you wouldn't pay about 34%.
Yeah,
On a
that's
job.
and the smart thing to do is be in a business when you're trading business. That way you get to write everything off that you're doing.
Lunches
So
and all that.
they get you the 1099 for, let's say, just realistically, you made $60,000. That's a realistic number, right, for a lot of people. You made $60,000, but you had $20,000 in expenses because you had to have an internet connection, you had to have a TV, you had to have a tray, the professional services that you got, and all that kind of stuff. The fact that you using part of your home, you pay $800 for your house, but you use a portion of your house. All that stuff add up. So now you, instead of paying taxes on $60,000, you paying that 60-40 split on $30,000, and that's how the wealthy stay wealthy. Because the middle class, to be brutally honest with you, pay all the taxes.
Oh yeah.
The middle class people pay all the taxes. So the reason why wealthy people don't pay taxes is because they write down everything. You gotta believe now. Say Amazon done made like $12 billion, partner.
Paid
They
a dollar.
ain't paid a dollar.
They read that today.
They ain't paid a dollar.
Last year, the year before
So
that, either, yeah.
you got to understand. You got to become wealth conscious. You got to become money conscious. And when you do, stuff just don't hit the same. You don't like to hang around the same kind of people like you talking about people that just.
It's kind of hard, yeah.
Yeah, it makes it hard to just deal with a certain kind of.
Mentality.
And, yeah, if your mentality, I ain't saying where you are physically, like what you got in the bank, but I'm talking about your attitude. If every time it's woe is me and I ain't gonna never be able to get nothing, and you know my grandma was poor, so I'm gonna be poor, and you know the poor gonna be with you always. My house they ain't. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, you got to have a certain kind of attitude.
Yeah.
That's why I love these dudes right here. I mean, they got a certain. That dude over there, he truly got a heart to help people. I ain't never seen that before. Like he like, man, look here, Will, man, cause I'm like, look, dude, we need to trade. We need to trade. I don't get. I hear what you're saying. We need to trade, man. Will, that ain't what I'm called to do, though. That's what he told me. That's what I called. He came to my office in Atlanta. That ain't what I'm called to do. I just look here. You just let me teach some people. Let me teach some people, man. We can trade too, but let me teach some people. I'm gonna be happy. Met this dude. All he want to do, man. I gotta tell people about it. I'm like, bruh. Everybody ain't gonna hear what we talking about. They ain't gonna want to, bruh, we gotta expose them. They gotta know. They don't want to hear about it because they don't want, bruh. I'm like, you know what though? I can't even argue that. Because at one point in time, that's how I used to be. I used to be wanting to help the people, but it was just me. I didn't have these two guys with me. It was just me, and people would shoot me down about, you think you better than everybody else. No, I don't think, I want to show you this. Man, anybody can do that. Anybody can do this. Listen,
You gotta have the will to do it.
anybody. You ain't got to have graduated from high school. I want to say this out loud. You could have dropped out of high school in the 9th grade. You can do this.
And I'll just throw this out here too again. You can do it because we're gonna make sure you can do it. Because one of the things about it, like I told you, I was a professional educator, got a professional certificate to do that, right? People pay me to teach and being trained as a teacher. The bottom line is that a lot of times failure is the teacher's fault. Because the teacher has a responsibility to do what we call a diagnosis. If you go to the doctor and you say, "Oh, you sick?" Well, I knew that. I need you. I know that. You know, that's why I'm here. I need you to diagnose me and tell me why, right? And the reason you don't know is because of this. And so if that's what we do, we go above and beyond the call of duty to educate you and to make sure you know, we know why you don't know. Are you an auditory learner? Are you, a visual learner? You know, we figure and find that out. You know, your emotional intelligence. You know, are you a patient person? Are you impatient? Well, I know I got to talk to you real quick, because you're gonna go off. So, you know.
And then
we do that. I mean, you have to know the people in order to teach a person.
And
you
even
can't teach a person you don't know. You know
and with
what I
the
mean?
students, man, even we have some of them be want to give up when they do get in class and be like, man, I just can't get it. And we take the time. I go meet them. I go meet, sit down with them, talk to them, encourage them, because I went through it myself, and so I can tell them, what to look for, what's going to happen in this phase right here. I went through that phase. And so, I always want them to stick with. I was talking to one of my partners today. We were texting back and forth. He was like, man, I'm getting a little, but, I got a lot going on. And I always tell them, just stick with it. Don't give up, though. Because the end game going to be beautiful. And so, we do a lot of that, man. We want everybody to succeed with it.
I was the Wall Street experience, man. I don't know how deep you want to go into that.
Yeah,
I know
man,
we talking about it before the thing. Just give a little bit of.
So,
yeah, I'm the street baller. He played in the league. I get picked every time I go.
So I mean, real talk, it's a private club. Let me just be real about it. It's a private club, right? If you don't know nobody and you ain't born in that thing, you ain't getting a job in that thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Ain't no sworn in it.
Ain't no what?
I say ain't no being sworn in it.
No, you ain't getting that, right? But the experience was like this. I went there, I was the only black guy. And that's where it was. I moved the ladder real fast because my teacher was a hell of a teacher. You understand what I'm saying? He taught me a lot. Made a lot of money real quick. You understand what I'm saying? Made a lot of money real quick. So I moved up the ladder. My constituents didn't really like that too much. You understand where I'm coming from? They wasn't really feeling me doing what they knew how to do.
Up that chain.
Right? So then, really, to be brutally honest with you, what they did was, when they saw what I was doing, they said, hey, man, come on and hang out with us. Like, I don't really want to hang out with y'all like that. You know, I ain't got no personal way. Business-wise, okay, cool, we're going to do this. Come on, hang out with us. You don't need to hang out with them no more. I mean, you can hang out with us. No, I don't really, no, because I'm from Collegeville. You understand what I'm saying? That's the kind of environment I come from. Right? That's
They
what
want a sponge for real.
I was like, no, I just want to hang out with my people, right? I left because there's a lot of pressure. Just being brutally honest with you, that's a pressurous job. You understand what I'm saying? And I left because essentially what happened was I was supposed to get a promotion. And the guy told me, we gonna make sure you don't get this promotion. He told me that to my face. And then they started sabotaging my results on purpose. So that when I went in, I literally went in for the interview, and they said, we were kind of concerned because you were on this sharp trajectory, but last quarter, everything's been flat to down. I said, well, if you look at it, it's only been 4 people. And they said, well, we understand. But the facts are the facts. The numbers are the numbers. You down. So you either got to motivate them to get up, or we're not going to be able to promote you. I said, you know what? I'm out. I'm done with this. Because I couldn't. I was like, you basically telling me that I got to go kiss tail to get this job. I ain't wired that way, man. You understand what I'm saying?
That wasn't for you.
I ain't wired. My wife's corporate America all day. I'm like, y'all can have the corporate America shit. You can have it. I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? You might be like, that ain't my cup of tea. So, Wall Street is cool. It's a real nice place. But you need some people that's kind of like you. And I'm gonna leave that right there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, they kind of scares out there.
Man, because if you get out there by yourself, it is scary.
Yeah.
For real. If you get out there by yourself, I mean, and the other thing is, you got to understand at the end of the day, if you by yourself, you by yourself. You ever seen that movie? I can't think of the movie name. That movie with the girl that was the police officer that got shot by the police officer?
Oh, just came
out. This kind of like
Tyrese.
Huh? Black and blue,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
So when you get up there, they don't really like you.
Yeah.
And then your people stop liking you because they think, oh, he think he better than everybody else.
In a lonely place.
So now you in the man. I'm telling you, that's a lonely place, man. You know what I mean? And when I lost $800,000, I ain't have but 4 people in my corner. 4, not 4. 4. I had 4.
You, yourself, I, your wife.
No, that was my mama, my daddy, my grandmama, and my uncle. My brother and sister didn't really know, and that was it. Everybody else partying at my house. House on the lake, nice cars, everything. Hey man, I need you. Bro, can I borrow like $1,500 until like in like about 2 weeks? Bro, I don't know if I can help you, man. I don't know if I can help you. But you just at my house drinking 900 bottles of liquor by yourself.
You're a great host. You're a great host, goddamn.
So
Put those on that bumper face.
So all I'm saying is it was real talk, I just want to live my life and deal with people that want to have more. You understand what I'm saying? If you want to have more, we can talk. If you that dude that just always got problems, man, you ain't gonna really get along much.
When you trying to move forward. Now we got a fella, one of my homeboy took the shirt in and moved closer. You have a question, Sonny?
Tuck the shirt
trying to move close, you know what I'm saying? But no, because it's interesting, and I know, I got a lot of questions now. We can't stay all night. But definitely, I would love to link up with you all on some other tips, man, if we can do something like a town hall type service, man, because there's some other financial advisors and people that deal with credit and that. And I'd love for all us to link up collectively and just, hey, and make it happen.
Cool.
We can definitely make it happen.
Bring energy around.
Yeah.
We here for the people, man. We trying to help.
No, yeah.
Trying to get back.
All right, well, I guess, we, like I said, we ain't gonna stay too long, but I will say this. Any information that you want to share before you leave, any jewels you want to drop, any information you want to share, and advice that you want to say before you leave?
That's the teacher right there.
We're gonna let the teacher go last though, because he gonna tip the hat up on y'all last. Let's start with Lindell. Lindell, any jewels you want to drop?
Well, like I say, if you want to join the Good Name Movement, go to our website, reclaimmyname.com. You can join in on there, man. And like I say, we here for everybody, man. And it's a movement, man. But if we don't have the people, it won't be a movement, man.
You're right.
Real simple with me. Anybody can do this. This ain't no, he got a special, this, that, and the other. Antibody
That's right.
can do this.
With the T.
Antibody can do this. I taught my 7-year-old son. I got a 14-year-old that trade. Antibody, and he got ADD. Not really, but my point is, if I can teach a kid, you understand what I'm saying? So don't be like, well, the stock market thing ain't for me. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna work this job and save my duck and put it in this bank. You know what I'm saying? Because that bank go down, what you gonna do? I mean, I'm just asking, what you gonna do if that bank go down? Because if the bank go down, FDIC gonna get the rich people their money first. Believe that.
Yeah.
And then they gonna give you what's left. And I'm just telling you how that's how it works. So if you gonna take a chance on you.
Like I said, they look out a note.
And also, man, you gotta change your mindset too. It's a mindset.
Take a chance on yourself.
What about Cornelius?
There's an old African proverb that states, that says,
My nigga. I ain't gonna lie, you already be Cornelius, baby. Hey. You gotta do like from the prison.
it
Take my hat
says,
off.
Tip the hat.
it says, to get lost is to find the way. In order to make a change, you're gonna be lost. If you go to a new job, you're gonna be lost when you first get there. If you go to a new city, you're gonna be lost. But to get lost is to find the way. This is something that you should get lost into. And it's called Money Market Education. And we're gonna give you an executive online education. And it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be second to none. And you're gonna be so glad that you were able to witness this and be exposed to this. And you're gonna be very, very thankful. And I really appreciate you guys for having us on.
Thank
Look
you.
forward. You can. I did write a book called The Money Market Autopsy, where you can learn the secrets of how I go in and I kill the market. And you can get that on Amazon.com. It's called The Money Market Autopsy. Go to moneymarket.edge. That's the website as well. And we have Reclaim My Name and ProfitStalkers.com. And that's all of us collaborating. We just bringing all of our talents and experiences and passions and heart together to make a difference, because that's what it's all about. Money, I used to think it was everything, but it's not. Relationships and memories are really what's valuable in life, and that's what we give you. It's not just education, but it's family. Having a bunch of money, living in Greystone, sending my daughter to Georgetown University, $62,500 a year per year, and being able to do a whole bunch of things. I thought that was it, but my mother had stage 4 cancer, and she had brain surgery last Wednesday. And then you begin to find out. So we want you to make money and get rich, but I'm a living witness to tell you that is not the most important thing. And to be able to team up with us and build relationships and memories along with making money, I mean, it's an opportunity that you should take advantage of. Just point blank,
Okay, well, that's what's happening. Now, this has been a very interesting episode of Barbershop Stories, the podcast. Episode 20, and 20 is such an important number because that's the milestone we're going to take, and it's going to get even better and better. And it's been great for me to sit there and hear this, because I'm definitely going to link up with them. Sam, what?
Man,
Hey.
it's been informational to me too, man. Like I said, I've been watching my brother, because he go live every morning. I'm up right with him. I'm telling my partners about it, like, man, check out what this dude's doing. So, hey, all I can do is get on the boat, when I make time to do it. You know what I'm saying? When I make time, because it ain't y'all got it going right now.
Yeah.
So when I make time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll
Thanks
be
for
on
reaching out
board,
too,
bro.
bro. Thank
I'll
you.
be on board, man. But Money Market Autopsy, that's the name of that book.
Yeah.
On Amazon, on
Yes, sir.
Amazon.
On Amazon. Make sure you check it out. Yep. So it's been great talking to Brother Will,
Yeah,
Brother
hell, man.
Will,
Thank you, bro.
Brother
Thanks for
Lindell,
having us.
and Brother Cornelius.
Right.
And I'm comedic narrator, haircut, slang, Bennie Mac from B949, and my partner here, Mr.
No, man.
Pow,
Got that
pow.
info.
That's right. And before we leave, I got to do these few little commercials. December the 7th, we have a comedy special called More Forehead Than Face. More Forehead Than Face 3. It's the third one. It's my comedy special. It's going to be hosted by comedian Miss V. Joelle Regan. She's going to be live performing. And I got a birthday bash called 40 for the First Time. That's immediately following at Roos Place. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. You can follow me on any social media up under just Bennie Mac, or go to the website at comedyandbham.com. And I'm also a professional barber of 25 years. Y'all come check me out, 4831 First Avenue North, along with that gentleman there, Mr. Sammy No Nose. And we are open 7 days a week. And we're going to day trade with you at some point when we learn the game from these fellas here. And hey, without further ado, we out. We appreciate everybody came on through. Y'all paying attention. We're going to link up with these fellas and also do a financial seminar at the first of the year. We're going to definitely put it together, because these podcasts ain't just for your entertainment purposes only. It's about learning and passing on that knowledge and linking up. Without further ado, I am out. Barbershop Stories, the podcast, episode 20. Yes.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to do it again. Man, we got to do it again.
Man, boy.
Man, that